Nope.
It's because your backlights.
All right. So, who would like to give a recap from last session?
So prior to the one-off session, we were flying into. We were flying. I think prior to that, we landed in Drome, and we saw Elmore fighting some being, and we arrived to see in this house, and this guy was dissecting a corpse. We almost stopped it because he stopped him because he tried to get away. We called the guards, and things went south very fast. We took to the air, and we went on top of the building. I got shot in the face, and we tried to run. We decided to get off the building because we saw that things were coming. We couldn't go through to the bottom floor or the floor below. So we took to the air, and we went down to a valley, or not a valley, went down to like a kind of quieter area. We saw these weird trees that were like trees with human flesh instead of bark, and they were watchers for like the watch or like the guard. So we tried to stay away from them. And we just were going through these alleys and these roads trying to find and just find out where we were. And it was just like kind of a hodgepodge of things. So memorable moments include coming across a game where they were kicking around a head, if I recall.
Beholder.
A beholder head, or a beholder, and they were ogres. And we were contemplating on going in there and trying to bet. And decided against it, probably for the best.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
Because the alternate, what happened instead, did not help us at all.
Yeah. Martha was carrying Ivar, and we almost died by flying over something that we shouldn't have. It was like a creature, like a acidy creature. Then Tacitus was investigating a pile of garbage, which ended up being...
That was afterwards.
Oh, that was afterwards?
No.
Yeah,
While you guys flew over the pit, I took, I think I had Elmorn, and we flew around the pit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, into fucking Medusa's stone garden, statuary garden, and I had zero desire to deal with that. So I cast a very, very loud spell that also teleported us away to you. But unfortunately, that called guards towards us.
Yes. And then we ran into the Oturga?
Otyug. And that was actually before all of that.
Yeah.
Also, Dustin, do you have a shiner?
I do.
Nice.
Oh, what happened?
I took an elbow in jiu-jitsu.
Oh. Ouch.
It didn't hurt, really. It was just one of those things, like, you know, like when you have your nose and starts dripping, you're like, oh, I think I got a bloody nose. It was like one of those, and you got hit, you're like, oh, that's going to be a shiner.
Yep.
So we ended by running into a busy street, and we were being chased by the guard, and we ran into a bunch of like priests or followers or cultists of the Order of the Flayed Hand, and we haven't made any decisions about what we're doing beyond that.
Yeah. So you guys are at an intersection.
Yeah.
To the left is this group of monks of the flayed hand, and they are walking towards you. And it seems like even though these are very human-looking monks, outside of the fact that if they're not wrapped in bloody bandages, they are displaying sections of scarred flesh where the skin has been removed, revealing the muscle underneath. And so, even though these are just regular people, as far as anybody can tell, even the monsters are backing off from them. To the other direction, to your right, you see the cart with the troll being served as a kind of meal, like shredded lamb, where it begins growing back after every slice. And then ahead of you is a section of the street where there's another one of these flesh trees.
That's right.
And then I just want to remind Elmorn that in the conflict with the Otyug, you failed the con save.
Okay.
Just a reminder.
So it's gonna come back to bite me.
Perhaps.
As is everything that we've done so far.
Don't I have divine health? Nothing can come back to bite me.
Well,
I
maybe.
divinely sneeze, and all the bacteria leaves my body.
Oh yeah, all bacteria leaves your body.
Oh no! All right.
All magical diseases do not affect you.
Oh no!
Don't worry, it's not a disease. It's not a tumor.
All right. Well, I don't like how the blade people look. Are looking at us.
I don't necessarily like them either, but it seems that they're probably the best opportunity we have, unless we'd like to give up right now and give ourselves up to the custody of the patrol here.
And just as a reminder, you guys have a ton of guards barreling down at you, mostly gnolls, but also a couple of orcs and at least one minotaur.
The troll market. I'm gonna call it the troll market. Are there a lot of people there, or is it like a pretty sparse crowd?
There's not many people, but it's it's kind of another alleyway, kind of offshoots, and that way is not as well lit as some of the other areas. And actually, there's a number of areas as you've been running through Greywall, you've noticed that it's not really evenly lit. Like there's some areas that are pretty well lit, and there's others that aren't. And if any of you were betting men, you probably could assume that it's because a lot of monsters they can see in the dark. What do they need light for?
Mm-hmm. I would think we could probably lose them in the crowd.
That hasn't worked so far. I don't think we have much time to make a decision. We need to act now.
It's either try and get lost in the crowd or go to the things that the monsters are avoiding.
I'll follow your lead.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, I'm just going to randomize my decision. This is Dungeons and Dragons, after all.
Indeed, it is.
All right. Evens, crowd, odds. The creepy people. That's an even.
Crowd.
Yep. I start heading towards the crowd.
Okay. So, and you guys are all following?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we're just gonna.
We're gonna go.
Don't split the party. All right. So, following Tacitus's lead, you guys disembark towards the cart serving the troll meat, and Elmorn,
Yes.
give me a dexterity check. Athletics or acrobatics is fine. Also,
And it is pretty dark, yeah?
yeah, and getting darker as you go down it.
Okay.
But remember, the gnolls and things can see at night, so
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily provide any cover.
I'm considering casting dark vision on myself so I can see.
I got a 20,
Oh yeah, and each of you guys is human, so you guys aren't seeing.
20 not natural.
Okay, so one of the goblins that was being served by this tiefling troll meat purveyor, he like kind of takes a step back right into your path, and you manage to sidestep him just in time so that you don't stumble over and trip over him. And so you manage to remain a smooth operator in that sense. And so as you guys are getting down the alley, you notice the crowd is kind of getting to the point where you're needing to kind of not quite shoulder your way through, but you have to maneuver so that you avoid hitting people. And some of them are very large. Some of them are very small because you have some kind of feral-looking halflings in their group. And you have the goblins and a couple of kobolds. But then there's also far larger creatures. You don't recognize all of them necessarily. And about 50 feet in, the darkness becomes total. It's basically just the same as nighttime now. So thankfully there are some stars to navigate by, and the moons of Eberron are out. But as luck would have it for our intrepid adventurers, the clouds are quickly coalescing, and it looks like a storm is brewing. And so the little light that you do have to navigate by is getting dimmer and dimmer, and soon all you are able to make out of the creatures that you are trying to move through are vague shadows of their shape and the glint, or in some cases glow, from their eyes and teeth.
So how wide is this causeway?
So it's probably about a 10 to 15 foot wide road, and then there's a sidewalk, and then there are buildings on either side.
How tall are the buildings on average? Are they like single story, multiple story?
So the Greywall is an interesting city, in that it was originally a site of ruins for the ancient Goblin Empire, known as the Decani. And so there are some of these buildings are actually ruins from that ancient time that have been in some way restored. There are other buildings that are just kind of made up in very different styles. So the thing about Greywall is that it really does look like a patchwork city where there is no rhyme or reason to the architecture. It's just kind of the buildings are kind of just made based on whoever's making them. A lot of them seem to be pretty simple dwellings made of clay. If they're not, the remains or ruins of that the city was built on, they're kind of like just hobble clay huts. Others are a bit larger, but none of the buildings in this vicinity are more than 2 stories tall.
Can I sense whether or not we are seen by our pursuers?
So as you look back through the crowd, it's hard to see back behind you because there are so many figures now in between you and them, kind of obscuring and with the darkness. You can hear them, though. You can hear them clearly shouting and grunting, moving people out of the way, shoving them out of the way, and all that stuff. Also,
now, the people around us, are they kind of onto us in that, like, are they suspicious of us, or are they just kind of minding their own business and we're like kind of nudging up against them?
Greywall really seems to be a place where the people are moving about. They see you, humans. They see you, but they don't really pay attention to you. I mean, they definitely have an animosity directed towards you, but it really is kind of an atmosphere that seems to be, you stay out of my way, I'll stay out of yours, sort of attitude. But everybody give me a perception check.
I
was gonna cast dark vision on myself so that I can actually see.
Okay. Also, I don't think it's in the rules of dark vision, but if you wanted to upcast that, I allow it to target 2 additional individuals for every spell slot cast over its primary slot.
I don't have any more 3rd levels. All I have is a 4th level, and I don't want to.
You don't want to blow a 4th level on dark vision?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just cast it on me for now.
Okay, so you can roll with advantage.
22. Or sorry, 21.
20.
Okay. So both Tacitus and Elmorn, they hear. Well, Elmorn hears more than sees, but Tacitus, you happen to look back at your pursuers, and you get a glimpse of what appears to be a large creature flying into the air, and not one that was meant to fly.
Like something was thrown.
Yes.
Okay.
And you hear the commotion growing. You think you see. So Tacitus, you're the only one that can see it. Elmorn, you've been able to notice it because of your hearing, but because it's the darkness, you can't really see too much. So Tony, I'm gonna send you a quick email about what it is you see.
I'm gonna cast magic missile at the darkness. I do have that spell.
Is magic missile any good?
Yes.
Always hits.
Ah.
It's not like a ton of damage, but
like it's a consistent, always will do damage.
Yeah.
Unless they're like resistant, or not resistant, but immune to that magic.
Yeah. Force damage. It's not common.
Yeah.
Shield spell and the brooch of shielding, I think, gives you the immunity. think they just made the shield spell immune, make you immune because they wanted the cool visual effect. It's like you got these blasts coming at you, and it's like.
Choo, choo, choo.
Yes. Sent. And then Martha, something also happens to you.
Yes. Is an email coming my way?
Yes.
Alrighty then. I'm gonna do my best Goldblum expression here. We must go faster.
Are there, if I look to the side, do I see any open house, like open doors, or like in the houses, or?
Hold on. This is what happens first.
Okay. So this pile of trash, does it look like the pile of trash that we've already seen, like with the other thing?
No, it just looks like a normal pile of trash. Nothing special about it as far as you can tell.
Not thinking, or not really considering anything else, I like motion to the group and I point down to this small insect thing that is at my tugging on my leg, and I motion towards this pile of trash, which this thing is also trying to get us to go to, because we need to do something fast. And I just go. Martha's just animal instincts taking over. He goes to this pile of trash.
God damn it! Before I go, the monsters around us, are they responding to what I've seen?
Sorry, 1 second, guys.
Sure.
They are. Yeah, you're starting. Everybody is starting to notice. Some people are kind of taking interest in what's happening. The smaller creatures who have a natural penchant for being targets and prey have instinctively started to run away from the same thing in the same direction that you guys were originally headed.
Sure.
This is what the little guy looks like.
The insect thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's tiny. He's a tiny thri-kreen?
Yeah.
Thri-kreen?
He looks like the
probably
thing
about the
from
size of a little bit smaller than a dwarf in terms of stature.
Okay. What? Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess I have to follow this guy who's running towards the trash. That did not work out well for us last time. But before I do that, the monsters around us, does any of them have anything quick that I can snatch? Like, not trying to be subtle, I just want to snatch it. Basically, what I want to do is grab it, cast light on it, and throw it in the opposite direction of us.
Sure. I mean, do you want to snatch something off of anybody in particular, or do you want to maybe? I mean, are you also looking at the ground to see if there might be a rock or something?
Yeah, I mean that would work too. I mean something, but if there's something.
Okay, you know what?
This
is such a minor thing. You can describe what it is that you grab, and if it's off of somebody, you can describe what you grab, how they react. Go for it.
Okay, yeah. The main thing I had envisioned was like some creature running by that, you know, has ornaments of like small animal skulls. And I just like snatch a skull off of maybe out of its ear, and just like cast light and throw it like away from us, kind of towards this thing down the road, I guess. Mm-hmm. Just to, you know, if its attention is drawn to anything, it's not towards us. So it's
okay.
Throw it, and then go follow. Follow Marthau.
So definitely the predatory instincts of the larger creatures, and especially those that are more monstrous in nature, as they are attracted to motion and light, especially in the darkness, their attention quickly goes towards that. And you can see even amongst the chaos that's going on that you can see with some of the guards that were previously chasing you, it creates a momentary confusion even amongst them. And then, so you guys are going towards a pile of garbage?
I will, yeah.
Yep. I'm bolting. Like, I'm...
So this is like a small bug creature that's pulling Martha towards the garbage is what's happening, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of motioning me. He's not necessarily pulling me.
For sure. Like trying to get you to go to it in a nice way.
Yeah, he said please.
I'll hop in the garbage as well.
All right. So as you approach it, it smells horrendous. Like, it is absolutely some of the worst smelling foulness you've encountered. But one of the things that looks like just another piece of trash, he lifts up, and it is revealed to be actually a hatchway disguised into the trash. And he ducks his head and crawls into it. It's small enough where each of you does need to kind of crawl and maybe even get on your hands and knees in order to get into it, but you can all fit. And so it is a dark corridor that you kind of crawl through, and then Martha, because you're the first one in, give me a dexterity saving throw.
All right. It's my best.
First one in, first one to be attacked.
I have an 8.
Okay. So, especially in the darkness, you're not expecting the sudden fall as the tunnel opens up into a somewhat larger room. The fall is only a couple of feet, though, and so you land prone. Who is next in?
I'll go.
All right, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh, man, I'm rolling good tonight. 8.
All right, so you actually you notice the drop off and stop before it happens.
Oh, what the Fuck!
Maybe you don't.
Jesus Christ! Fuck!
Wait, what has happened?
Batman attacked me.
Are you sure you just didn't fall down the
Oh, I have this. I have a hutch above my computer. This is like sitting on there like this, and all I did was roll my mouse and keyboard in, and it like the force of it made it roll down, and it fucking fell on me.
right when you were falling?
Yeah. Jesus Christ! All right.
Are you Daniel Day-Lewis in your method acting right now?
It mostly just scared the shit out of me.
That's how suddenly Batman can attack. You don't even know. Suddenly his picture's attacking you.
So you're able to notice that it opens up, and you're able to stop yourself and gently bring yourself down. And Tacitus, since you have dark vision, you clearly see this happening, and you follow Elmorn's lead, while Marthau is still kind of catching his breath from landing on his ribs. A moment later, the insect creature begins lighting a couple of kerosene lamps, and what you see is a single room. It looks to be just kind of dug out of the earth. So it's not necessarily like evenly geometric. It's not necessarily a square or round room. It's just kind of irregularly shaped. The floor is covered in various animal skins and furs, and there are some other knickknacks kind of strewn about. There's what appears to be a place where he eats, which is not necessarily a table with cutlery, but just kind of a pile where he puts the bones of the small rodents and creatures that he seems to mostly forage on. And then there's there's two other passageways that you don't know necessarily where they lead. They're covered by more of these animal skins. The doors being of similar height to accommodate this smaller creature.
Does this place smell like the trash?
It does not. The air is kind of stale and musty, but otherwise it's not too foul. He's very good about picking his meals clean to the bone, and so there's not much in terms of rotting meat or anything like that to contend with the smell.
Who are you?
Oh, me? I am. Let's see.
I am.
I'm Skulbyrh.
Skulbyrh. Well, thank you for. I'm most appreciative that you pulled us out of there. We were about to land in some very hot water. I hope the trash scent will throw them off from this location for a little while.
Oh, don't worry about that. Skulbyrh make you safe, but Skulbyrh save your life. You don't even realize how badly you are in danger.
We know nothing about Drome other than it's quite a frightening place. We've been chased ever since we've arrived here. What?
Yes, you are lucky. You were not just chased by the Watch. You were chased by Xor'chylic.
Who?
Xor'chylic.
Was that the enormous thing out there? With I don't even know how to describe it. It's just monstrous.
No, you speak of his eyes.
Oh, that was only his eyes. Okay, lovely.
He has eyes all over the city. He is the law.
Hmm.
He is not one to be crossed. You have crossed him in some way.
Are we hanging out here for a while?
How could we have crossed him? Just got here.
What did you do?
Make a couple loud noises.
Xor'chylic does not mind noise. He would not be here in Greywall if noise was a bother.
We were in some weird room with lots of dead creatures. That's when we first started being chased.
Yes, but enough about us. What was your motivation to pulling us out of there? It was a very kind act of you. However, I'm not really sure that kindness is necessarily the first intention of most creatures.
You are a smart one. Here, kindness does not get you far. Favors, however, favors can be valuable, and if Xor'chylic is looking for you, then maybe you have value. Skulbyrh can save you for the right price. Skulbyrh can let Xor'chylic know where you are if the price is not right.
It seems to me like Skulbyrh has a need of something.
All creatures have needs here in Greywall.
And yet, can you satisfy mine?
He kind of, his antenna kind of twitches in a way that you would guess is similar to somebody kind of cocking their head like, what are you saying?
Is this thing big or small? I missed that part.
Small.
It's like waist high.
Yeah, a little bit smaller than dwarf height.
Okay.
And he's got a secondary pair of arms that are smaller than his main arms that he's kind of keeping close to his chest and kind of doing these kind of motions with them. You might guess that it's kind of a nervous tick maybe, but of course this creature is not like any that you've seen before, so your guess as to its behaviors and what they mean would be nothing more than conjecture.
Come now, Marthal. You must be suspicious of our savior. Besides, there's 5 of us and 1 of him.
Oh, I don't mind those odds. You guys are here in my lair, and here you can easily get trapped. I know my way around. All I have to do is be quicker than you, and I think I can manage.
I'd like to see.
One thing Skulbyrh is good at is being quick and running.
We're not looking for a fight. If we're looking for a fight,
I'm sure you are.
Now, Elmorn. We're not looking for a fight. We're not quite in the right. We're not quite in the right position to just duke it out. Although we could if push came to shove. Now, what do you want from us? Clearly, you are in need of something, and there is some way which we can help you. So,
while this conversation is going on, I'm looking around at like security, like what's this place set up like? How's it defensible and all that jazz?
Well, so the entryway that you came into is kind of set towards the ceiling. Oh, by the way, in order for you guys to stand, you kind of have to hunch over because it is kind of small and cramped. So that tunnel kind of goes up on an incline.
So you guys are some distance underground. It's hard to tell exactly how far underground you are. If you were dwarves, you would have a better understanding of that. But you know you're underground. You know that there's that one entryway, and then you see the two other entrances that are covered by the cloth. This being underground, there's no telling where those might go. And so, in terms of defensibility, you have 3 potential exits. Two of them that you have no ability to assess anything other than they are small enough that you would have to hunch over to go through them. And then the other one, which would require a bit of exertion in order to get up there in any kind of quick manner.
Do you have any rooms here that are a bit taller?
Skulbyrh does not need much taller. And you take what you can get when you're in a situation with Xor'chylic on your tails.
Sure, I was just curious. Now, what is it that you want?
Well, I have a bit of a problem. You see, I owe quite a bit of money to somebody that I'd rather not owe money to.
Why do you owe money?
Skulbyrh has a love for gambling. And I have gambled with great success on the gladiators. But lately, my streak has turned into a bit of a bad patch. And he's kind of speaking in an accent. You can tell that Common is not his native tongue. And so I must find a way to repay him. I was thinking, since you seem strong, and since if Xor'chylic is after you, you have value, some sort, maybe you can fight in the gladiator pit for me, win me back my money.
That was not how I was expecting this conversation to go.
Who do you owe money to?
Story dice. His name is hard to stay in a tongue that you would understand. It is many clicks and whistles, but
Try us. I'm a fast learner. One more time.
And
Can you do that backwards?
Would Mr.
Say your name backwards.
would Mr. Xor'chylic happen to work for Xor'chylic?
No. Nobody works for Xor'chylic. If you are in with him, he controls you.
Now, I know Martha would rather brush over the subject, but I want to know why he's after us.
Well,
You know something.
Xor'chylic is the leader of this city. He enforces the law of the daughters of Xor'chylic. He was appointed by them personally to oversee law and order in this city. You see, the The creatures that live here are not used to working together. They are not used to being civilized. Skulbyrh sees good benefits in civilized behavior. Gives protection, offers opportunities. Skulbyrh can enjoy this. Others have distaste for it, especially if they are bigger and used to ruling by their might. Xor'chylic keeps them in line. He is scary and powerful.
I didn't ask for your goddamn backstory. Why
This is not
Xor'chylic?
Skulbyrh's backstory.
Why
And
is
you have
Xor'chylic
not
after
said
us? That's
what
all I want to know. Goddamn it!
you have not said what you've done.
told
Skulbyrh is
you.
not psychic.
We were in a fucking room. Some gargoyles. Gnolls attacked us.
Then clearly you do not understand what you have done to cross Xor'chylic, but crossed him you have. He does not release those numbers of gnolls so lightly, and activating his eyes in such a direct manner is very rare for him. Usually, he is satisfied with just passively observing through all of his eyes at once to maintain general order. But instead, he was directing them at you. Did you notice that? Did you notice how the eyes seem to follow you?
Kind of hard to not notice when you're being chased to the goddamn city.
And how often did you notice? Have you been following us?
I saw you since you did that thunderous magic. It was interesting. 1 minute you're there, next minute you're not. And then I hear the sound, and I see the attention that it brought. So Skulbyrh think perhaps there is a way to profit from this situation.
So I see a bit of a flaw in your grand scheme here. If we go and fight in this tournament to try and win you back your money, it'll also draw attention to us being wanted individuals. We would not last there for very long.
Yes, normally, if this were anywhere else in Corvair, perhaps. I have heard that there are places outside Greywall that the cities have law all over them. There are no places where the law is not enforced. Here in Greywall, there is one place where Xor'chylic does not go. It's an agreement in order to maintain order, an opportunity to give those monstrous beings the ability to satisfy their bloodlust without taking it out in the city itself.
Mm-hmm.
The gladiator arena is this place. He does not go there. He does not care what happens there. It is a place for dark desires to be explored.
Let me ask you another question. How many buildings in this godforsaken place do you know of that have living gargoyles on the top of them?
How about I answer you with how many humans live in your cities?
God damn it, they were stone 1 second and then alive the next. How many buildings have stone gargoyles on them that come to life and attack people?
Gargoyles. They live, they move.
Some of them are just
I
made
don't
stone.
understand what you are asking.
They look like statues.
I think he's saying that all the gargoyles here are the bad kind of gargoyle.
I get that.
Gargoyles appear like statues. That is their native.
How many buildings would they normally live on?
Wherever they
single
happen
building?
to roost.
I think they're
No,
like birds.
they were protecting this place. Why? Where were we?
Maybe they were paid.
By who?
If they were protecting a building, I would guess the Skulbyrh would guess the owner of the building.
How many buildings in this city have skylights? Who can afford a skylight in this city?
Skulbyrh looks at Marthau and looks at Tacitus, and he asks in a very honest way, "Are all you humans so dull?"
Elmore knows 1 on his intelligence. Don't you fucking talk to me like that.
I wouldn't say we're dull because we're not going to fight in a tournament on your behalf.
So you are not going to help Skulbyrh repay his debts?
Not in this way. Now, if you took your debts, if you took debt because you were doing something honorable rather than wasting away your money gambling, that's one thing. But since you took debt in a dishonest way, we're not going to risk our lives in order to win it back. Is there another way?
Oh my! And you must have been so honorable in crossing Xor'chylic and breaking the law of Greywall. Gee, I'm sorry. Skulbyrh is sorry. He did not realize he was speaking to the saints of the Church of the Silver Flame, or whoever it is that you worship.
We told you we didn't do anything.
Well, Skulbyrh does not judge. Perhaps you would be best not judging Skulbyrh.
I'm not judging you. I just want information.
Just because we choose not to help you doesn't mean we're not judging you. I mean, I'm totally judging you right now, but that is regardless of that, I still choose not to help in this fashion. If there was another way in which you would like to earn money back, that is more preferable, we can potentially help with that.
I have heard you humans have a saying. Skulbyrh has heard that you humans have a saying. Ones who beg cannot choose?
It's close enough.
So, if you choose not to help Skulbyrh in the way that Skulbyrh desires help, you are free to leave. You might make it out. You might not. You can go back up to where the commotion is. You can try your luck at navigating my tunnels.
How about
Watch
you
out
give us
for
a
the
moment
traps.
to talk it over?
You may do as you wish. I will feed. And he skitters over to the corner with all the bones, and he moves a piece of cloth, one of the rugs from the ground, which reveals that there was a hole in the ground, that he pulls up a cage and pulls out a big, like, trunk-nosed rat and begins feeding on it, and you kind of hear it screaming because he didn't bother killing it before he just started eating it. And he does it in that really creepy way where he puts his mandibles, pierces it into the skin, and you can sort of see it like from inside kind of churning.
All right, so he's distracted, so we can talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Marthau, Tacitus, Petrie, Ivor? Now,
they're in mallet space right now.
listen. Let's just go with him. Let him lead us to the arena. He says Chicklet, or whatever his name is, never goes there. He takes us to the arena, then we break away and make our escape.
I have a feeling it won't be quite so easy to do that.
What options do we have?
Kill him.
And then be lost in his tunnels forever?
We know the way we came in.
What we need to do is find out where the human sector of this city is.
Yes.
Perhaps we do. Whispering, of course, so that he can't hear it. Perhaps we do go along for a moment while we try and gather that bit of information from him.
If there were an arena,
or
perhaps humans would go there for the blood sport as well.
We could. We don't. If we had an idea as to where he goes when he flees through his tunnels, perhaps he goes to a safe place. Perhaps he goes to another exit. I might be able to find out, but it might hurt him a bit. But then we would be out information, potential information.
This is true. My concern too is if we go along with him and he takes us to this arena, we still have to make our way through the streets, presumably past the watchers, and then trigger getting alerted again on our presence.
Maybe.
And we might just find ourselves being chased into the arena, and then they know they're there. They will know we're here anyway.
He might have ways to get nearer through the tunnels.
I think he would have. Hopefully, he would have a way for us to get there undetected.
If not, he's clearly an idiot, and we have no use of him.
Well, I think the former of your accusations are true. But I suppose we can go along and see how this plays out. I have serious misgivings, however, and I won't. And at the hint of betrayal or threat, I will kill him.
Perhaps we can take a moment to rest here a moment.
This would be nice.
I can recover some of my energy for casting spells.
Patri goes over to the rat creature thing and starts eating it with the bug creature. Patri's like, "Are there any werewolves here?"
This kind of looks like shrimp. Put some shrimp on the bobby.
So you no longer hear Skulbyrh slurping down his meal, and so if you look over, you can see him looking at you and saying, he says to you, "Are you ready to talk with Skulbyrh? Come to terms?"
We'll talk. We'll see what happens of it.
Okay. So, Skulbyrh has told you what Skulbyrh would like from you, but we must make fair exchange. What would you like from Skulbyrh? Would you like Skulbyrh to lead you out of Greywall? Perhaps to find your companions in the human settlement of Greywall?
I forgot why we came here.
We came here to
Yeah.
we came here because Mordain the Flesh Weaver was supposed to be here, and he is what is/was the leading expert of the plane of Xoriat,
Correct.
which is where the angel-faced creature came from that we've been pursuing and trying to figure out.
We tell whatever this bug thing's name is that we want to
Skulbyrh.
find Mordain the Flesh Weaver.
So his face just kind of freezes for a moment. His mandibles kind of chitter a little bit, and he says, Mordain? Fleshweaver. I have not heard this name, but Skulbyrh knows people who knows people. Skulbyrh could find information.
Nope. Not a fair exchange, as you said.
Well, Skulbyrh cannot provide what Skulbyrh cannot provide.
Then what use are you to us?
You seek to avoid Xor'chylic, Skulbyrh assumes.
And you seek to avoid... Elmore knows.
How are we sure that the Xor'chylic actually is a real thing and it's not some figment that you are telling us about in order to get us to cooperate?
Good point, Bug Brain.
If you would prefer, you can leave. Take your chances with Xor'chylic. Skulbyrh cannot force you to be here. You are all much bigger than Skulbyrh.
Just curious, where is the human portion of this city?
From here, it is on the other side, close to where the sun rises.
Huh? What?
To the east?
Ah! What?
Yes.
Oh! Ah. Guys,
Can I roll an insight?
guys, we should trust him.
Make sure he's telling the fucking truth.
Guys, I just have a feeling. Egg says we should trust him.
What?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Is like the egg on your face or like
Egg is all over my body. Egg and I are one. And all of a sudden I just like salute. And then I look at my hand like, whoa.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Those episodes of South Park where after Cartman drank Kenny, thinking it was his chocolate milk, and it was really his ashes.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah.
So basically, Kenny's soul was inside Cartman, and so every so often he would slap Cartman and do all these things.
But I think Tacitus should get his inside check.
All right. Give me your insight check and do it at disadvantage since he has a bug face.
I don't need a disadvantage because I'm not great at this.
Disadvantage your +0.
It's plus 1.
Okay.
Alrighty. So what we got. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see what this. Okay. So the worst of the two is a 16.
Okay. As an opposed roll, I rolled a natural 20. So.
Sure.
Regardless if it's true or not, you absolutely believe him. Or at least have no reason to doubt him.
Sure. And whenever we turned this way, did we turn best if we could tell, judging by placement of the moon? Were we going west?
So there are many moons that everyone has.
Placement of the moons.
There's 12 of them.
Sure.
So give me an intelligence check for that, or you can do survival as well.
Yeah, I prefer intelligence. 17.
Okay. What was it that you were looking for specifically?
Whenever we turned down this road, roughly what direction were we going? Were we going west, east? He tells us what east is where the human settlement is.
Yeah, best to your knowledge, you're fairly confident in your assessment that you were heading down that road south before entering Skulbyrh's lair.
Skulbyrh.
And we turned left in that intersection?
And then so you guys, yeah, so the intersection you turned left, which was south.
Okay. So we were coming from the east.
Yes.
Okay. You little shit.
See how it is.
Use my superior intelligence to discern the correct answer. So maybe that's reasonable. And I start breaking it down. Man, that motherfucker. Nope. All right. Unfortunately, that only just rules out one direction. We still have 3 more.
What do you mean 3 more?
Well, we were coming from the east. He says the things that the human settlement was from is in the east.
Yeah.
As far as we could tell when we were on top of that building, I mean, there was no great way of discerning, but the humans presumably would need light to see at night. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Seeing light, much light, like a cluster of light.
Yeah, we didn't see any. Yeah, we didn't see that.
Yeah, but you guys, your attention was also preoccupied at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys wanted to, I can give you an opportunity for a very high intelligence check DC to see if you can recall it, kind of like how Sean Spencer recalls things in Psych.
Right.
Sure, we're not.
Don't be this crevice in my arm, Gus.
Come on.
I got it 18.
I got a 20. Straight intelligence. I don't know any skill involved, but
right, no skill involved, just straight intelligence.
I got a 9.
cumulative 20.
All right. Let me see. Okay. So Tony, you using your wizardly penchant for intellectual reflection and tactical recall of the situation that is going on, although you did not process the information at the time it was recorded, that you could see a good sized grouping of lights heading in the direction of the east while on top of the building.
Okay. So we ran away from it.
You also recall that it was quite a bit of distance.
Sure. Okay. So it's a big city.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, if we helped you earn your money back, would you take us safely to the human quarter?
Skulbyrh swears on his arms.
Are your arms detachable?
Anything's detachable.
He kind of looks at them and kind of yanks and says, "Not naturally."
We have a guy. And I just kind of like thumb over the shoulder to Elmorn.
Skulbyrh puts his littler secondary arms behind his back.
I guess a little curious then, where is the arena? And how do you plan to get us there?
Well, through Skulbyrh's tunnels.
Okay. And where is it in the city?
It is not quite in the city. It is below the city, much like Skulbyrh's tunnels.
Alrighty.
Hopefully not with as low ceilings.
Skulbyrh does not think you will have problems fitting in the arena.
Did Martha see Skulbyrh put his hand behind his thing behind his back?
His arms? Yeah.
Yeah. Did everybody see it?
Yeah. He wasn't trying to be subtle about it. At the mention of you guys potentially ripping out his arms, he just kind of wanted to keep him out of sight.
Yeah. Do many humans fight in this arena?
It happens. It is rare for humans or dwarfs or any civilized races to fight in the arena, but it happens. Many come to Greywall for different reasons. If you are one of the civilized race, it is either because you have a death wish or you are outcast for some reason. People do not come to Greywall without ability to survive and fight. Some believe they are tough. When they fight a minotaur, they realize maybe not so much.
When do you plan to try and enact this?
Well, you are in no condition to fight now. You are all bleeding and wounded. Skulbyrh cannot lose on his investment.
Yes.
We are not investments. We are merely exchanging payments for services.
If you prefer to see it in terms that is Skulbyrh can agree. Regardless, you need time to rest, and Skulbyrh has no hurry in the matter.
Do you have a better place for us to be able to rest at?
His antenna kind of twitch once again in that way, kind of side-cocked head, and is like, better?
A place with more room.
He thinks and kind of taps on his mandibles. Maybe one place. Don't know if it will suffice, but I can lead you there.
Why wouldn't it suffice?
It is wet. Lots of water.
Sure. Just take us to. How big is this room?
Roughly, it's probably about probably about 900 square feet ish.
900 square feet. All right.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit bigger than a studio apartment.
Okay. I'd rather not sleep wet. Is here fine? I'll ask everybody else.
Yes, ear's fine.
All right. These this Xor'chylic, do you know if he has the ability of far sight?
Xor'chylic's sight is great. Some say that he can see into people's thoughts. Many of the Watch are there because he has controlled their minds, bent them until they were weapons, only responding to his command. He is very scary.
Well, just in case then, I'm going to start casting a spell. It's going to take 10 minutes. Get comfortable.
So, Skulbyrh says, Skulbyrh has not seen Xor'chylic, but Xor'chylic has been described. And then he starts taking one of his claws, and he starts kind of drawing in the wall. And this is what he draws. Actually, I could do this with you guys watching. All right, can you guys see?
Yeah.
All right.
We're seeing him scratch in real time. All right.
All right, so this is what he draws.
Oh,
Sure his name isn't Moonflower?
yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Would there be any knowledge for us to roll to know what this creature is? Clearly, we know what this is, but our characters may not.
No, these kinds of creatures they're rarer than rare, to the point of Xor'chylic may be unique.
Okay.
Are octopus rare?
There's
Octopi are. Excuse me.
That's a calamari pie.
So yeah, I mean you know what octopuses are and everything.
Why did you draw an octopus?
Skulbyrh did not draw an octopus. Skulbyrh drew Xor'chylic's face.
Why does Xor'chylic look like an octopus?
This is how he was described to me, to Skulbyrh. I'm really bad at doing third person, even though it's a guy's shtick.
I like how Skulbyrh corrects himself in third person. I mean, to Skulbyrh.
See, in my game, if I were doing this with a character, I would make him not a Thrykeen. He's like illusioned. He's another creature altogether. And so he's doing that in real time. He's actually. My players just think I'm making a mistake, but no, that's
right. The DM doesn't make mistakes.
right.
I meant to do that.
All right.
So yeah, Skulbyrh says Xor'chylic can invade your mind if he gets close to you. You will lose control of your body. And even when he is far away, if he can see you through his eyes that he has throughout the city, he can exert power on you then as well. I'm surprised. Skulbyrh is surprised. Skulbyrh is surprised that Xor'chylic did not try this when you passed his eyes.
What gives Xor'chylic such power over others?
Skulbyrh is not sure. Skulbyrh assumes the daughters of Xor'chylic knew of his power. Or perhaps the daughters of Xor'chylic gave him his power. But regardless, it is power that he has and power that he wields.
Dustin, we're watching you fall asleep.
Oh.
We're gonna have an owlbear situation going on here.
Oh gosh.
You're like this close to the camera, and your eyes are like this. That's pretty funny.
Sorry, guys.
So
are you good, man?
I just need to stand up for a minute.
All right. Because, like I said, I'm not really feeling well. So if it would be better if maybe we just want to do a half session today, stop here, and then give you guys a chance to kind of dwell over how you want to handle this with Skulbyrh, Xor'chylic, and the gladiator situation, getting to the human settlement.
Yeah, I thought maybe getting to the arena would be a good stopping point, but that's going to be like a long ways away. Then maybe we.
Well, I mean, it's just as if that's what you guys decide, it just takes as long as okay, you guys are at the arena.
No. Remember, we might want to try and run away.
True.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin, do you have enough time to get to the arena?
Yeah, we can do that.
Decide.
Yeah, we can get to the arena or not the arena.
So it sounds like we're betting here for the night, though.
Yes. We should do a rest.
All right. Does anybody have any hit dice that they can spend?
Can we just do a full rest?
Actually, you wouldn't need to do a full any spending of hit dice, so you could do a full rest. But have any of you have any hit dice that you've spent already? Because you regain half your hit dice that you've spent in a full rest.
No.
So did any of you guys use any hit dice after the battle with the Xor'chylic monster?
No.
I don't think we've had a chance to actually. We've not rested at all.
Yeah.
If we had a short rest, I'd have more spells.
All right. So you guys can go ahead and sleep for the night. Skulbyrh kind of motions that you can pull up some of the skins from the ground and roll them up into pillows if you want. The dirt underneath is pretty lousy with lice. So there is that. The skins seem to do a good job of kind of keeping them away from you as a barrier. But that's up to you. Skulbyrh doesn't seem to mind much with the lice. In fact, the way that he goes to sleep, he actually climbs onto the ceiling, embeds his claws into the ceiling, and just hangs from there and goes to sleep.
And I want to add a bit of flavor. The way Elmorn goes to sleep is very strange to you guys. It's not normal. He actually seems to curl up into a ball. It's like he's trying to get as ball-like as possible, like he's going into a shell or something. Very odd. He's
Martha
good night,
guys. Martha is just confused, and he hates bugs. So
oh yeah, this has got to be terrible for Martha.
Yeah,
who's used to the finer things in life.
Yeah,
literally sleeping in a hole in the ground.
You know, is there enough space to start a bonfire?
Probably not in a tunnel, man.
The minute you do that, Skulbyrh screeches and puts it out and says, "Are you crazy? Do you want to poison Skulbyrh and your friends with that fire gas?"
Anything to not have these foul bugs anywhere would be helpful.
We are in the ground.
Dude.
This is where bugs live. Skulbyrh is bug. Why do you think Skulbyrh chose this as Skulbyr's home?
I just kind of look at him with distaste and just kind of turn away. And like
he kind of gestures like and then says, "You humans are so picky."
So we'll have done a couple of things. I'll have asked him if there are any wandering creatures down here that we would have to worry about.
This place is safe. In the tunnels, less safe.
Alrighty. Then, yeah. So while he was drawing his little picture, I was casting a spell. Because I don't know what this guy, this Xor'chylic thing is. I was casting Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum.
Oh, nice.
Basically, I'm warding this whole area against divination and teleportation and all that.
That is super important to do. First of all, here's how you spell Xor'chylic. And secondly, had you not done that, I was actually about to roll to see if you guys were going to be set upon.
You bastard.
But
no.
But protecting against divination, because there's no effective difference between psionics and magic. Psionic scrying functions just the same as magical scrying, and so it prevents all of that from happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and then no sound passes through the barrier, and anybody on the outside, it just kind of looks like it's a bit foggy and unwelcoming.
So, Tony, for that, you get a bonus action point. So that is an action point that. So I've realized when I give bonus action points, since action points reset every session, it doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily beneficial or rewarding because it may go away. So you get a floating extra action point until you have gone through a session where you've used every single action point, including your bonus.
Okay.
Your bonus is your last one, sounds like.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm mark that. Bonus.
So normally you guys have 4 action points per session, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Tony, you will have 5 action points until you've had a session where you use all 5.
Alright. I'll take it.
Nice.
So I've marked that. So I've got action points, and I got bonus action point.
Nice.
Cool. And then since he says that we don't have to worry about creatures, I'll probably do it anyways. I'll take off my breastplate that has all my spells on the inside and start incanting the alarm ritual, just to make sure. And little bugs can pass through the alarmed area, but anything with hostile intent or any other big things that we don't want. And then I'll make us privy to that. I'll exclude the Thryking. I don't care about him. And just for gits and shiggles, I'll I'll also ritually cast detect magic.
Okay.
Maybe the little shit's found something in here, and he doesn't know.
So interestingly, the entire place lights up with faint magical auras.
I mean, I imagine my own spell lights up.
It does, but this is you're filtering out your own spells, which you're able to do. Even then, you see a faint magical presence kind of suffusing the entire area. And
can I tell what kind of magic?
Yeah. The auras are not diffuse or mixed enough that you would have to do any kind of arcana check to distinguish it. But you can see that each of the skins on the floor has a faint kind of aura of abjuration magic.
Okay.
And the skins that are acting as kind of the drapes guarding or closing off the 2 entryways. They glow with faint conjuration.
Where at again?
The 2 entryways that are blocked by the skins, because they have like skins hanging down, preventing you from seeing where the tunnels lead. But those both glow with faint conjuration magic. And you see that the edge of the tunnel that you came in through glows with faint transmutation magic.
Well, I don't understand all that.
It's definitely made Skulbyrh a bit more interesting in your eyes, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, perhaps then I don't even need to to inform him if somebody breaks into his fucking place. Sounds like he'll be fine. Okay, well, all right. What's this guy's name again?
Which one? Skulbyrh?
Skulbyrh.
Skulbyrh. Okay. I imagine.
Skulbyrh.
I imagine you rolled your story die and got a skull and perhaps like a thermometer with a below 0.
Actually, what I got was a desert that had a cow or a buffalo skull, and then a robber, like a guy stealing a pot of gold.
Gotcha.
Oh, Skulbyrh. And the other one where it was just whistles and shit, I got a woolly mammoth, a donut, and a rainbow. And I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this?
That's the translation of the name. Yeah.
Right.
That guy gets made fun of a lot.
What's the woolly mammoth's name from Ice Age?
Manny.
Ray Baron.
Oh, it is Manny.
Ray Romano.
Yeah.
Yeah. Manny / Ray Romano.
Mandonut. Bo.
Mandonut.
Man nut of the colors.
Rain Manny.
All right. So, anything else that you guys are doing during or before your long rest?
Nope, I'm out like a light.
All right. So you guys recover all of your stuff. You wake up fairly well rested, considering that you're sleeping on pretty hard ground. You don't know what time of day it is because there's no sunlight to sort of set your internal clock or circadian rhythm, but each of you kind of wakes up around the same time. And when you guys wake up, you see that Skulbyrh is kind of toiling away, doing some kind of, it kind of looks like just playing or messing with the bones of the rats that he's eaten. And then he looks at you and he says, "Ah, you are awake." And Skulbyrh sees you are well rested. How do you feel?
A bit itchy, but this'll do. Thank
Skulbyrh
you.
looks at the rest of you.
I just shrug. My face is very plain.
It's not over easy.
I was literally just about to say that exact thing.
No, it's hard boiled.
I didn't want to poach your joke, but
We gotta stop.
It's punny side up.
These yolks are getting old, guys. Come on.
We gotta show our devilish charm.
you know.
All right. So, Skulbyrh, you also know that although you guys know Skulbyr's name, Skulbyrh has shown no interest in knowing your names. So he says, "All right, are you ready to participate in the gladiators arena?"
Nope, not yet. I gotta prepare my spells. It's gonna take a little bit.
Very well.
Takes a little while.
Is anybody doing anything while
Tacitus is preparing his spells. Large one, what are you doing? Is your hand broken?
I'm gonna cast suggestion on the. I'm gonna cast suggestion on Skulbyrh and say, you know what? I think we should just go to the human quarter and skip the arena.
I need
What's
to get
the
the spell.
DC?
17, I believe, or 15.
Okay. So you cast it on him. It seems to be effective. And so you have casted it. Are you casting it using your meta magic at all? Like with your what is that called? Where you're not using your components?
Subtle spell.
The subtle spell, yes.
Okay. So Marthau suggests to. So you're casting suggestion.
Correct.
You suggest, hey, why don't we just go to the human quarter?
Correct.
And then Skulbyrh says, I really want to take you guys to the human quarter. I really do. In fact, it's strange how much Skulbyrh wants to do that. But Skulbyrh will die if Skulbyrh goes to the human quarter.
You don't have to take us into the human quarter. How about we would just like to go close enough to the human quarter where we can take it for ourselves. Does that make sense?
How would you avoid Xor'chylic?
How far can your tunnels take us?
Skulbyr's tunnels can take you all the way, but Skulbyrh cannot allow you to do so and be hurt.
Hurt?
The tunnels are dangerous. Without Skulbyrh, you will not get to the human quarter through the tunnels.
Yes. Can you not take us to the human quarter through the tunnels?
Skulbyrh would die.
The human quarters, are they at the edge of the city?
They are. And the person that I owe my debt to is looking for me, and he is in the human quarter.
Why would you die if we went through the tunnels?
Because he will find me. I owe him a lot of money.
Is he looking in the tunnels?
The ones that are close to the human quarter, because that is where he is from. He is like you.
Handsome?
Warm-blooded.
So how far would you be able to take us through the tunnels to the human quarter?
Skulbyrh could take you halfway. After that, Skulbyrh would be in danger.
What about if we went to the edge of the city and we circled around?
Skulbyrh does not understand.
Is there a wall around the city?
No, there is no wall, which is strange because the city is called Greywall.
Indeed. Perhaps if we get fairly close, but not detrimentally so, to the human portion of the city, and go towards the edge of the city, we can then depart ways. Sadly, I'm sure. And then
You would walk around the edge of Greywall.
Sure. Is there a reason why we shouldn't?
Xor'chylic will find you.
All the way out there. His domain is not limited to the city.
No. If you have crossed him to the point where he sent his eyes out for you, he is looking for you. He is determined.
Well, it sounds like not even the human quarters is safe then.
It is more safe in the human quarters. You know them as dragon-marked houses.
Mm-hmm.
The house of Kundarark controls the city by permission from the daughters of Xor'chylic. There is a diplomacy or some autonomy granted to the humans to govern that section of the city as they need. Xor'chylic will still want you. He will still look for you, but he cannot take you.
And
Well,
the
then how about
tunnels,
this? You'll be safe so long as you're with us then.
yes, we'll protect you.
As a guide, we need you. We discussed this last night.
Do we have an accord?
Hold on. Because you're asking him to do something that actually genuinely terrifies him, and in his eyes, risks his life. So he's going to get another saving throw. Rolled a 13. So
Still doesn't make it.
he is.
Swear to God, you guys do stuff just to fuck with Mike.
No, this is good because I mean, you guys have reason not to want to just fight in some gladiatorial arena.
Elmorn doesn't care.
Uh,
Eggmorn doesn't care.
no, but okay, so you can see that Skulbyrh is visibly shaking and chittering, and he says, "Nobody has how do you say protected Skulbyrh. Nobody has made Skulbyrh safe. Skulbyrh has been Skulbyr's whole life since hatchling, keeping self safe, only able to trust self. How does Skulbyrh know you will keep Skulbyrh safe?
We are Eggmorn. We have protected many and let many others die. But you we shall protect.
What happened to your voice?
Egmorn's voice is beyond this mortal body.
Elmorn, are you okay?
There is no Elmorn. There is only Egmorn.
My detect magic the previous evening, did it fucking see anything going on there? Or is this entirely in his head? Okay, cool.
Whoa! How long have we been up? Why am I standing like this? What's going on?
Are you Egmorn or Elmorn?
What kind of question is that?
I turned back to Skulbyrh. Disregard that. Means nothing.
Okay. So, Skulbyrh looks at you, each of you, and says, if you protect Skulbyrh, Skulbyrh will show you to the human porter.
We'll do more than protect you. We'll call you our brother.
Why don't we just kill his debtor?
Because that would be too easy. And all we need to do is go to the human quarter.
Skulbyrh does not think that would be good. Xor'chylic would not be happy with you killing others in his city.
You told me he had nothing to do with Xor'chylic.
He is human, but he is still in Greywall. Greywall's laws are Greywall's.
He's human? That means he's easy to kill.
So tell me about this magic that you have set up over here.
Skulbyrh, his antennas twitch again in that strange way that's like, and he just responds, what magic?
There's clear magic on these, all around us, in fact.
Skulbyrh knows of no magic.
Interesting. Do you mind if I take a couple of these skins?
Those are Skulbyrh skins. They take time to prepare. They protect the floor.
How do you prepare them?
Keep the lice out.
Indeed. I'm sure it, at a minimum, keeps the lice out.
Skulbyrh dries the skins, and Skulbyrh secretes fluid that is used to soak the skins.
Where do you get the skins? I mean, if I look at when looking at the skins, it seem like they're from the same kind of creature or different.
No, they're all different. All of them are furred creatures, though. They all have it's all pelts,
right?
Really. But you're not able to tell if like what kinds of creatures they come from, but you are able to generally see that they're not all from the same type of creature. And they're also not necessarily cut in a way that shows the creature's shape. They're kind of cut almost jigsaw puzzle-like. Like uneven edges. They're not it's not like what a trapper would do
to maximize the area of the pelt that they're.
Sure. Does it look like I could drape one around me?
Possibly.
Are you sure that you want to do that after you just described? He just described how this is made with like
Yes.
bug secretions.
And also covered in lice on the underside.
I'll shake out the lice.
Just blow on it. It should be fine to eat.
No, I probably wouldn't do that, but I would. I'm not going to just take it, but I would ask if I could just have one, maybe two.
Skulbyrh might be willing to exchange.
Well, I don't have much. I have this torch.
Worth much more than a torch.
I have 10 torches. Supposedly. I don't know. I don't have much.
Skulbyrh is sorry, but Skulbyrh cannot part with those for such a little amount. They take Skulbyrh a great amount of time to prepare.
Could you not prepare another?
Yes, but it would take me a great amount of time. And it would take Skulbyrh a great amount of time, and you are not proposing anything that would be worth Skulbyrh's time, energy, and effort.
Fair enough. I have nothing on me, so I cannot trade. Shall we head out then?
All right.
Are
Let's
you
go.
ready? All right.
All right. So let's end on that note.
All right.
So you guys are going to be exploring the tunnel. I'm going to make a quick note.
We are Eggmorn.
Are you also Legion?
No, only Eggmorn. We come into your dreams.
Okay.
Eggy white dreams.
Really wanted you guys to fight what I created for the arena.
Hey, Eggmorns and Elmorn are ready to go. We would have fought it.
Hey, but no, actually, so Dustin, you also get an action point, a bonus action point for that.
Sweet.
Pretty smart.
Martha really didn't want to go into the arena.
Yeah.
Martha got the sense that that this was that this guy wasn't necessarily genuine with his intent after the arena.
That's fair. What'd you guys think of the session?
Yeah. I got to finally use my private sanctum. I've been waiting.
Nice. And used it in the best possible time as well.
Yeah, it was clutch.
It was good. I mean, it was a role-playing session, which is always good.
He was described as having the eyes of fucking Xor'chylic or whatever. I'm like, seems very sight-centric.
Yes.
Let me just ward us against far sights. All that jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish you guys could have seen what Tony saw. Tacitus saw.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting. You guys definitely, as always, proved to derail my plans, despite my best efforts to not allow you to.
All it takes is sometimes a suggestion.
But you know,
suggestion. So if you were just playing with me, I would have gone along with everything.
all right. Hopefully, we'll have more people next time.
Yeah.
And there's definitely going to be some more action. Dun, dun,
Right.
dun.
Don't count on it.
Yeah. Let's just get to the human core and decide not to go in. It's a silly place.
Time to go home.
You know what? I do want to see Xor'chylic.
Yeah. We got beef now. We gotta squash the beef.
Egmorn ain't afraid of no Xor'chylic.
Xor'chylic. I thought you were saying chicklick
It is.
or a chicklet, like Xor'chylic.
I probably slipped and said it a couple times like that.
I always think it's funny is like when you say like these terms, like, or you say a name, and then you're like trying to figure out, okay, like how is that spelled?
That's how I wrote it.
I wrote it as like
Chiclet.
and then I was like, or is it this?
Chicklick. Right.
And I was like, all right, I'll just go along with it.
I just figured, you know, with the emphasis that was being put on there, I figured it was just two parts of the name, and
It's funny.
so whenever we finally meet, I was like, "Mind if I just call you Zor?" I'm just gonna call you Zor.
It's just easier for the both of us.
It'll really speed this along.
Well, I had a lot of fun, guys. I appreciate you guys playing. And then we'll get after it. Thursday next week works for y'all?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excellent.
See you next Thursday.
See ya.
All right. Take care, guys.
See you guys.
Later.
Yep.